I just got back from a run, which is why I look kind of funny, and I was thinking about how I feel about my new Garmin HR as compared to my relatively new Garmin 920 XT, and I thought I'd do a video about it since I was thinking about that. So when the Garmin just came out with their new Vivoactive HR, and I was so excited about it because it's got a heart rate monitor built into the back, as opposed to the 920 XT, which you wear a strap around your chest for heart rate. So I was so excited about the whole idea. I was, signed right up on REI to get it. It took a long time to have any in stock from Garmin. So it took a long time to get it, but now they have them in stock, the Vivoactive HR. So my first impressions of the Garmin Vivoactive HR are that, let's see if I can, well, it's upside down, but here's the 920 XT, and here's the Garmin Vivoactive HR. Now, it's a lot slimmer on the wrist. It's a lot slimmer in terms of width. It's longer in terms of length. This way, up and down. It's longer up and down. It's slimmer in the width. The 920 is wide and it's a square, but I think it's a little shorter in the width. Since I need reading glasses, I liked the 920 XT because the numbers I could make, they're pretty big and I could read them without glasses. And the Vivoactive HR, the initial screen, the numbers are pretty big, but each screen, the letters and the numbers are kind of small. So what I like about the Garmin Vivoactive HR is that it's touchscreen. You push initially to get it started, you push for the lap, you push to get all the different sports displayed, but then you push on a sport and you push it. There's some touchscreen features, whereas the 920 XT there's no touchscreen. So it's all by this press the buttons. What I was thinking about as I was coming back from my run is that it's a nice, quick, and easy feature to have touchscreen. You just push, push, push. Whereas sometimes I forget to push because, anyway, the touchscreen features are nice. It's completely waterproof and you can wear it swimming, which is why I wanted to get it. It has all the sports I wanted. But and it's pretty good fit around the wrist as a woman. The 920 XT, I bought the soft Velcro band and replaced the initial plastic band because that was not working for me as a woman. And the soft Velcro band worked much better. Whereas this original plastic band works just fine around my wrist as a woman. One thing that's annoying is that, I don't know, the Vivoactive HR feels really bulky. Like for a little slimmer model, it's pretty much just as bulky, I guess, as the XT. 920 XT on top, Vivoactive HR. It just feels really bulky on the wrist. Because of the raised optical heart rate feature on the bottom, which I heard is a really good compared to other heart rate wrist readers, but because it's raised, it's kind of annoying. Like, it makes it really bulky. It stands up farther on the wrist, and you can feel it pushing into the wrist. I just find it kind of annoying. The strap for the 920 XT is kind of annoying, but I think it's less annoying than the little raised reader. So much to my surprise, I'm kind of annoyed by this. And then it's not very good for when you have wrist flexion, and I do weightlifting and stuff like that, and if I ride a bike or whatever, I'm worried that it's not getting an accurate heart rate reading because they're not really designed for that, whereas a strap always has an accurate heart rate reading. So when I'm wearing this, just to be nice and easy, like wear it to work, go out for a walk, which makes it easy without a strap, I'm constantly worried that it's not getting the accurate heart rate. Now on a cold winter morning, the straps I hate because they're cold. I put them on, it's freezing. The strap's freezing. It's freezing to put them on. My hands are freezing when I put them on. I hate that. So I think this would be better in the winter. But for now in the summer, I prefer the ease of the strap because I know I'm not having to worry about, is this getting an accurate reading on my wrist? I love Garmin products. I think they're really great. I like the Garminconnect apps. I'm just not happy with the bulkiness, and I think they need to work on that. They also need to work on colorizing these things. I saw my friends have Fitbit Surge and Blaze and stuff, and I bought the Garmin for a reason because it had more waterproofing, and the optical heart rate is better, I think I heard in reviews, but it's certainly not as colorful. Like those Fitbit models have really bright colors in their numbers and their readings, whereas Garmin just hasn't done that yet, and they really need to do it. They need to make all the heart rate, when your distance, your calories, your heart rate, your pace, all that stuff, they need to put that in color where it's still just black and white, and that's just not going to cut it compared to today's models. So I think they need to add color and pizzazz, and it would also make it easier to read for people with old eyes like me. I think it's bigger and easier to read on the 920 XT, whereas the numbers are smaller. Let's see if I can get a screen. Maybe they're about the same, actually. There's the 920 XT. There's the screen of the Vivoactive HR. I think the 920 is a lot brighter. I don't know if I can make the Vivoactive brighter. They need to put it in color. I like the features of the Vivoactive HR that you have 3 screens for each activity, that you can set up kind of like the 920 XT, where you can look at different readings for different screens. There's only 3 though for each. You can't add more as far as I know. It's kind of neat that you could get the phone notifications and your texts on the Vivoactive HR, although I don't want that. So I have that turned off. I've been using it to track my steps more than the 920 XT, although you can. I never did that with the 920 XT, and I got this. One of the reasons was just to use it in the gym without having to use a strap and worry about hurting it, which I do with this because it's a lot more expensive. But I forget what I was saying. Anyway, the features. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, phone notifications. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Activity tracking is the same for both. But I realized that, you know, just getting up from my chair and walking across a room and back is not like fitness to me. So I think that's kind of not so great. Like, I want to keep track of actual fitness, not how many steps it takes to go to the car and then the store. So I'm not as excited about keeping track of my steps as I thought I was, although it's kind of fun. And it's good for me to try to get like at least 10,000 steps a day. So anyway, that's my first impressions of the Vivoactive HR. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. I have both. That's a lot of investment in Garmin technology. I like the 920 XT because it has the multisport triathlon feature where you can go from one sport to the next without stopping when you have it on that feature, whereas the Vivoactive HR specifically was built to not have that feature, although they just came out with a new triathlon model with built-in HR, of course, after I bought my 920 XT. So they do have that now, although it's a round face. And the final thing I want to mention is that Garmin has not designed these for women, and it's really annoying. Like, the straps don't always work well for women. The size does not work well for women. Sometimes they're really too big and bulky. I one time bought the Phoenix 3, but it was so huge and bulky and heavy on my arm that it was worthless to me. Whereas for a man, it would be different, but for like running and stuff, it was way too bulky, so I returned it. So Garmin has not figured out how to adapt their technology for women, I believe. You know, they need to figure that out. They need to make them lighter. This one lays really nice and pretty thin to me on my wrist, and it's nice and light. This one just feels bulky and heavy on my wrist. I'm not enjoying that, although I like that it's thinner. But this one is lighter, it feels like. They haven't made them for women where they're the right size and weight, and the straps don't feel so bulky and overloading, and yet to hold them on place for a woman. This needs some adaptation for a woman. It's just too bulky with the added height of the raised optical heart rate monitor. So they need some women to help design these things, I think. So if this weren't so bulky on my wrist with the raised heart rate monitor, I would enjoy it more. If it had more color for the readings, like those other brands do, that would be more enjoyable and it would help to read. If they'd make it so the numbers are bigger and the letters are bigger so people with old eyes can read them easier, that would be better. And once they make the technology so you don't have to worry about whether it's accurate or not for wrist flexion, that would be nice. The other issue I found, now I can put on my strap and use this. I haven't done that yet. But just with the heart rate monitor on the wrist, like when I'm using a spin bike, I keep my strap on and I take this off and put it in front of me on the bike handlebars. I wrap it around so I can watch my heart rate, whereas this, if you take it off, you have no heart rate. Although I could wear a strap with it and do that, but the cool thing about just having a strap is that you can take this off and give it to other people or something. Or put it on your bike or something. You could do that with this, but anyway, that was my first impression. Today I went out with my 920 XT, which I have not worn since I bought this and got it a couple weeks ago. The 920 the Vivoactive HR I just got a couple weeks ago, and I've been using it and not using this. But today I wore my 920, and I always enjoy it. So those are my first impressions. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And sorry for the non-technological impressions, and I didn't go into detail with all the information. Oh, one thing about the Vivoactive HR is you can program each screen for a lot of information. You can choose your own distance, lap, time, calories, pace, steps. You can choose to put whatever you want on the screens, and I think that's a great feature. That's true with the 920 XT too. So I think that's really great. But again, they need to put them in color. Okay, let me know if you have more questions. Bye.